are coming off.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
We're about to go full court press.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
It's time to play ball.
Malone looking for his first hit of the year. He drives one. Deep left field. That goes Upton. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Bartolo has done it. The impossible has happened.
Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now.
Stay off the weed.
Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
On a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon in Garden City.
Indeed it is.
And all over New York. We welcome you to the Friday edition of WHPC Sports Talk. We're on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host for the Friday show, Joshua Umahi. Joining me, I have just Gina Halstead.
The one and only. Yes, it's me. It's me. It's just us. It's us too.
Really,
it's going to be a calm day, y'all. You'll definitely be able to hear sports. Yes, I know.
Definitely going to be talking about sports in any and every capacity. And we got a lot going on. NBA playoffs is getting underway this weekend.
Man, it's looking nice.
I cannot wait to get into that. We have a certain star in the NBA that's set to return. A certain star in New York City that's set to return. And much, much else. And y'all know the drill. Y'all know what number to call. 516-572-7440 is the number. Call in. We talk about anything. If we're talking about a certain topic, we'll change up. Whatever you want to talk about, you control the show. Again, we don't bite. I'm a nice guy.
If we need to, we do. No, I'm joking. No, we're good. We're like Chihuahua. No, Chihuahuas are feisty. Never mind. We're good. Y'all know it.
Gotta be vicious when we need to.
Exactly.
But we're going to start today, and it's a very important day in the world of baseball. Not only in the world of baseball, but in the world of sports. Jackie Robinson Day.
Yeah.
Now, it's especially important this go-around, this year, 2022, because it's the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson making his Brooklyn Dodgers debut. The Brooklyn Dodgers, not the LA Dodgers, the Brooklyn Dodgers way back when.
Have you seen the film? Like, of when they just showcased 40? You haven't seen 42?
I haven't. I meant to ask you about that because I want your input on that.
I never genuinely knew just how much he had to endure in order to, like, open the door for, like, so many others, you know? I'm not a baseball fan, so getting into Jackie Robinson, I just knew, like, the impact that he had on sports, but I never looked further into just how important it is. Because look at the game now. The game today is very diverse and just opening, especially in baseball. It's one of the, more diverse sports. So to just see at a time where it wasn't, and they were literally separate leagues, right? I think they called them the
Negro Leagues, yeah.
Yeah, Negro Leagues, yeah.
I read a very, very interesting article on that from the Sports Illustrated this morning. And they were talking about how, Jackie Robinson obviously it's a great feat to be celebrated, breaking through the major leagues. That's big time. But it was if you look at it from this perspective, like the Negro Leagues, they had their own thing going on. And, it did make it difficult for some of those guys in that league after Jackie Robinson broke through. They weren't letting everybody do that.
Yeah,
it was really like a move at a short pace type thing. So that's an interesting perspective that I read this morning. But you look at the TV right now and the Mets are playing. Every player in baseball today is wearing 42 and Dodger blue.
Yes.
And they've worn 42 on April 15th like every year as far as I can remember.
They do. I thought it was a league thing. I didn't know. I knew they did it like as a team, but I thought it was both the teams that were playing in that game, but not only that, but like the entire
league. The entire league. Every team wears number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it only used to be the black players in baseball that wore it. But since, I can't remember exactly what year, but they since changed it. Now every player wears it, which is really, really cool.
That is to see.
It's a great way to honor Jackie Robinson. Not only baseball, just sports as a whole. Because think about this, and you mentioned all the ridicule, the threats, just the vicious behavior that Robinson faced, and he stood tall through. But
that's a lot. I don't think as a person, I would have that much composure because I feel like the immediate reaction to combat hate is with hate, but to do it with composure and to keep your head high through it all, that's a lot. I genuinely wouldn't even know if I could endure that,
And think about this, Gina. If he crumbled underneath all that pressure and all that hate, like you said,
we never would be where we are today.
No,
because
it had not just a massive sports impact, but societal impact. Like this year, 1947, we're talking about. Like I don't got to go into detail about everything that was going on there, but I mean, look at where we are in American sports today. It's a lot more diverse. It's a lot more. Everything's everywhere's diverse everywhere you look. Even look at the NBA. You have all these European and international players. Giannis, Embiid, Jokic,
the Greek freak.
The three men at the top of the MVP discussions. And even that might not have been possible without Jackie Robinson's, courage. And I know we're not all the way there. I mean, look at the Colin Kaepernick situation.
I just bought like a signed what is it, like the collectibles from him, like it had a picture of him throwing for the 49ers. It went for like $250. Signed. I gotta sign it, and you
better hold on to that.
I'm putting it up on the wall. There I am.
Ain't no other place it's gonna go.
But no, I feel like the NBA, the NFL, it's starting to open up more, but it's like how much,
Yeah, exactly. Great point. How much? Because the NFL, again, it's one of those things where this Jackie Robinson thing had such a ripple effect in all the major sports we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, they talk about the Rooney Rule and how ineffective it's been lately, and how there's only one black coach, I believe, one or two. I think Mike Tomlin and somebody else maybe.
Yeah.
But that's for a league that's predominantly black. It's interesting to see that's the case. And I mentioned Colin Kaepernick, and I know, again, we're not all the way there where we want to be in terms of inclusion and diversity, but man, like think about what sports would look like now.
Yeah, if Jackie Robinson done what he did, yeah.
Think about not having ever watched a Michael Jordan or LeBron James or a Tiger Woods, Barry Bonds, Serena Williams. Like this, that's what we're talking about. I feel like a lot of fans.
Dang, I don't even think I would be a sports fan. You just literally.
Like all the athletes we're so drawn to, and to think about Jackie Robinson, that's the kind of context I want to put on that. It's like it's not just a Major League Baseball story. It's a entire societal impact, and it's crazy. And I mentioned Barry Bonds, and just to get one thing off about baseball, only two black managers in the sport right now: Dave Roberts, Dusty Baker. And I've talked about on the show a lot how baseball was my first love as a kid. Mm-hmm. You know how big a basketball fan I am. Like, I remember I first told you that. You're like, really? I'm like,
baseball. Yeah, I'm like, I thought you were gonna say basketball, football, and like it's just like the sport you grow up around, as far as like geographic, like watching just little league kind of thing. Yeah. Just the things you started playing as a child, and then you just get into those sports. Yeah, for real. On a major level kind of thing.
Baseball, just watching it, and that was the first sport I ever played.
Yeah, mine was basketball, so that's why.
Just that sport you fall in love with first always gonna have your heart, and and I've talked about a lot how the league is kind of uncool, talking about Major League Baseball and all these unwritten rules and all these game politics and the uncool owners trying to put stuff on the game. It's just not appealing to the younger fans, especially younger black fans and younger black kids, and that's why I feel like the total number of black baseball players is shrinking. And again, like I said, we have a long way to go, but Jackie Robinson, man. Just the last note on that, just think about it in terms of the impact on this country and sports as a whole, because that's really the thing. Look at them. Oh, the Mets about to tackle more runs. I love the TV edition in here.
Yeah, it is. We stop like midway and just start watching like in amazement, waiting for something, reacting when you see something crazy. I'm starting to get more into it. I've never been really into baseball for like that being one of the sole reasons, but I do love the game. I started playing it. I like playing it. I don't like watching it. I like playing it.
You hear a lot of people say that. Like watching is a little bit of a bore, but when you're in it, it's like
it's fun. Like I'm like, ooh, next play.
Mets fans, Yankee fans, baseball fans of anything, please call in. 516-572-7440 is once again the number. Again, call up about anything. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. We're going to pivot to basketball here and the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, Ben Simmons. I don't know. I was a hater on Ben Simmons a couple of shows ago. I was like, I don't see how he's going to come in and be negative, but you saw the little Instagram posts he had when he had like music playing in the background. He had his basketball shoes on. He letting us know he getting that work in. I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm always going to be biased.
That's what we were talking about pre-show. Like I like KD, I like Kyrie, I like. And
they both get to play because there was that circumstance. Like, what if the Nets have to play the Raptors.
Yeah.
Kyrie wouldn't have been able to play there. Going into it, playing the Celtics, he gets to play. And they're bringing back Ben Simmons. I just want to see how they're going to work together because all three of them, which are probably going to be the top three guys, like if they continue to play healthy and ready to go, they're going to probably be the top three players. They're going to be a triple, a thruple, whatever you want to call it, a three-way kind of thing. But they haven't had that connection yet where they've been playing. They don't have that chemistry, so I'm just not so sure just going into it, especially in playoffs. Like, these are not games that you want to lose or take that chance,
It's kind of an odd time because we were looking at when the trade happened, the big Sixers, Nets, Harden, Simmons trade happened. We're thinking we're about to see Ben Simmons on the court like
ASAP, ready to go.
Obviously, there had to be a conditioning period, but we thought that was going to be it. We didn't see any back injury or anything of the sort happening, but that's what happened, and it's such an interesting thing because if you think about what happened to Ben Simmons last postseason. That was probably...
Oh, my goodness. It was so sad to watch, literally.
We're talking about a guy that, was a huge star, goes to LSU, was a 5-star recruit, great college career, heralded as a rookie, and then to have the most embarrassing moment of probably your basketball life. So scared to make free throws, you don't dunk on Trae Young or whatever, you're scared to go up in the paint. That's what happened last season, and for the Nets to say, okay, we have no problems just dropping him in the middle of a high, intense playoff series against the Celtics, a terrific Celtics team. It's going to be interesting to watch.
But looking at what you said going back, you did say that it kind of takes that pressure off of him because he has those guys that can do that. And I think I started agreeing with you on that. I think they can really produce going into the playoffs because, like you said, he doesn't have to have that. If they know he's dominant in the paint. Right. They know they're going to have to come in and try to get kind of a double team going when he goes into the paint. If that's the case, he can kick it right back out. Kyrie, KD, he doesn't have to worry about that. So Ben Simmons can perform in this playoff when he plays his game, that type of game, and please just don't shoot, and we're good to go.
Well, you mentioned it. Great point. He's in the perfect spot because what's Ben Simmons' weakness? He can't really shoot. He can't make free throws.
Can't shoot. He's looking like Westbrook.
Worse than Westbrook. At least Westbrook is going to try to keep attacking.
Literally.
He's always in attack mode, and that got taken away from Ben Simmons.
Man got scary by Trae Young. I mean, I'm a Trae Young fan, but the man is like, what, 5'11"? Like, come on, you better dunk on that man. You better put him on a poster, and you're scared to put Trae Young on a poster.
6'1" on a good day, on his best day, right? And that's what happened.
6'2", he put on the right shoes. Like, come on.
Walking around New York City with some Timbs on. He might be 6'2", but yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. KD and Kyrie really masks his weaknesses really well.
Definitely.
And Ben Simmons masks, in return, he masks the Nets' weaknesses.
That defense, like you said, you did say they're going to bring that defensive edge with him coming back, and it's good because they've been playing great defense all season. So to have that addition, it could really work for the Nets. I'm a New York fan, so if the New York team pulls it all the way through, I'll be okay. I
don't know if I'm going to go there yet.
No, I'm not going to cheer them on now for obvious reasons, but it wouldn't be that bad to see.
It's going to be so interesting to watch. I mean, Shams Charania tweeted yesterday, Ben Simmons is targeting anywhere from games 4, which I hope to go to. We'll see. Games 4, 5, and 6 to return. And, the Nets, here's an interesting thing with the Nets, and this is why I said they're not going to win a championship. They're not going to win a playoff series even. I said they're not going to win a playoff series without Ben Simmons, and here's why. You don't see a lot of NBA championship caliber teams 18th or 19th in defensive efficiency the whole regular season. I know KD missed some games and Kyrie missed some games, but we've seen it even to close the regular season. They're not good defensively. Now, they were better against the Cavs in the first playing game, but again, it's a question when you're going against Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and those guys, and Ime Udoka is a terrific coach.
You need to have defense, like literally. You have Jason Tatum. He can go for 50 on a good night. He's literally looking to
any given night.
That's what he did last season in the playoffs. Didn't he have like 3 50-point games?
Yeah, and
you have to play defense. Jaylen Brown. I'd love to see him as a very developmental player. He's come a long way. Like just from I remember him entering the into the league. Now, just to where he's come, everything that he had then is just times 10, basically on steroids. Yeah. For Marcus Smart, I love him defensively. He always brings that defensive measure. So you're going to have that pressure on offensively without a doubt. You need to stop them from scoring.
I think Marcus Smart defending Kyrie Irving is the matchup in this series. It's the matchup. Because, again,
That's
nobody
gonna be
can
good to
stop Kyrie
watch.
Irving.
Come on. And Marcus Smart is known to be a defensive player, like one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah, nobody can stop Kyrie Irving, but if you can make it difficult on him, which Marcus Smart can do, I mean, again, I'm not the biggest fan of him because I feel like he's a little bit of like a Patrick Beverly type. He's kind of like scrappy.
Like just a little watered down version, a little bit.
Yeah, you love him if he's on your team, but you just hate him. You can't stand him if he's on the other team, on the other side.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys, and if he can at least slow down, again, it's a big task for Kyrie Irving. But if you can slow him down, and then you know what KD's going to do. Kevin Durant is, he's a walking bucket.
He's a shooter. He's literally a walking bucket.
Walking bucket, Slim Reaper,
Slim, that's the new nickname.
Anything
Slim
you want to
Reaper.
call him. You know what he's going to do when he steps on the court, especially in the playoffs. You know he's a serious problem, and we remember what he did last playoffs.
Man,
so
look at the team they have now. They just acquired Ben Simmons. They're going. I can see them going far.
If everything clicks, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They don't need Ben Simmons to be anything. I think I said this a few shows ago. They don't need anything from Ben Simmons but to be their Draymond Green. Just play defense, rebound.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I don't even care if you're wide on the 3-point line with the game ticking down. Just lose. Don't shoot because you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it.
The thing, Gina, he won't have to because you talk about KD, Kyrie. They have Steph Curry. They have Patty Mills, who they're hoping.
Oh, I keep the trade. You're right, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You can't. No, you. He's literally like he's. I think he could be where his brother is if he in a few years. Somewhat.
Yeah.
I think there will never be another Steph Curry. Come on.
There's never going to be another Steph Curry. But I've said this. I think Steph Curry is like what Steph Curry would be on the role player version of him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he's like come off the screen, shoot threes. He can create shots sometimes, play good enough defense. The Nets are the wild card in this NBA playoffs now. Like they're the 7th seed now, but we all know if KD and Kyrie were together all season, it would be different. They would not be in the 7th seed. Anybody that would disagree with that, you're crazy.
Josh, speaking of that 7th seed, you see on the West, the Timberwolves, man. I've been talking about them. Anthony Edwards, Patrick Beverly, Karl Anthony Towns, the biggest big man shooter, probably possibly ever.
It's him and Dirk.
In my opinion.
It's him and Dirk, yeah.
Him and Dirk. I always forget about Dirk. I'm sorry. He's great. No, Dirk was amazing.
Karl Anthony Towns has at least put it in, a space where it's a discussion. You're not going to be laughed off the fence where if you say, "Oh, Karl Anthony Towns is a better shooter than Dirk," like you're not going to get rocks thrown at you and stuffed in the locker. And like, nah, it's a discussion now. But that's the interesting thing with these playoffs, and we're going to get to every team and all these matchups, and we're actually going to predict. I don't know if I said this at the start of the show. We will predict the NBA playoffs for you.
Yeah, this is going to be hard, man, because I literally can see so many teams making it to the finals. I'm not going to lie to you.
The parity is unbelievable, and we talk about the Timberwolves-Grizzlies matchup. That's 2 young teams, 2 scrappy teams, 2 teams with attitude.
I'm watching every minute of that game. I'm watching, man, John Morant and Anthony Edwards just dunking.
Just
alone?
Think about all the athleticism you're going to see. Because even D'Angelo Russell, he's a damn good point guard, too.
That's going to be an all-star game. Not even going to lie to you. Dunk contest, all-star game.
It's definitely going to be fireworks, and I expect that to be a long series. To kind of close on this Nets topic and Ben Simmons, let me ask it this way. How reasonable, or what's reasonable to expect from Ben Simmons?
He comes in, definitely has that defensive aggression, makes the points when he's in the paint like he needs to, definitely being the bully that he is, playing his game that has got him averaging the numbers that he used to, that he is during the regular season. Come in, play that role, know who you have on your team, and use them to your advantage, you're good to go. And defense, you have to come on the defensive side, they have to come.
Yeah,
like you said, Celtics,
defense.
Wouldn't Tatum be matching up with Ben?
It's interesting. You're going to see some times where KD is matched up on Tatum.
That makes sense as well, yeah.
You're going to see some Ben Simmons. You're going to see some Bruce Brown even. There's a lot of guys they can throw at Brown and Tatum. And it's going to be so interesting. I think the series is the most compelling in the first round.
Yeah.
Because the Celtics, the way they closed the season, and let's not forget, there was a point in January, the Celtics were below the Knicks in the standings. They were below the Knicks in the standings in January. And you look at the crazy run they went on, the best defensive team in the league by far.
11 games. They went on like an 11 game. I want to say streak, but just 11 games.
11 plus game win streak. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a win streak. I just know they played really good 11 games.
They were playing amazing basketball to close the season. Ime Udoka, shout out Nigeria. Great coach. I'm a big fan of him. Former assistant last year in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting to see see how that chess match plays out.
Okay.
The Celtics
it's
are
a little
phenomenal.
rivalry, a little bit.
A little bit. And they played last postseason, so there's a little bit of that rivalry, like you said, built up. Here's the question. Will the Brooklyn Nets win the series? I'm putting you on spot.
Against the Cavs or against the Celtics?
Against the Celtics.
Well, no, they wouldn't be a series against the Cavs because that's, the playing game. But against the Celtics,
tough.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. I think that, I think they can. If they come prepared defensively, if they make it a defensive game, because you already know the offense is there.
Right.
If they focus primarily on defense and just let them play their games offensively, they can beat the Celtics. They can. I'm looking at, it'll probably be like I can see that going to a Game 7 early on. And I think the Nets are going to come down at the end of the seventh game, 4-3. They're gonna beat them 4-3.
Oof, you know what? I would not blame anybody for making that pick, because even though the Nets are the 7th seed, they're probably the best 7th seed in NBA history.
Yeah,
clearly.
I'm cheering for the underdogs this year. It's crazy, man.
You're gonna have the best
7th seed in both conferences are looking great.
They're looking real good.
Great.
And you listen, KD, as far as the Nets Celtics series, he's the best player in that series. So normally, and this is my philosophy on like NBA playoff wise, if you have the best player in the series, there's a very, very high chance you're gonna win. And that's just the way it works. Now that being said, the Nets do have some challenges working in Ben Simmons. And again, I'm surprised they didn't try to work him through the regular season. Now, with that back injury, maybe they had no choice. But to just drop a guy in the middle of the playoffs where there might be chemistry issues and fit issues and all that, it's just tough. That's something that's going to work against them. And the Celtics, they're not going to have Robert Williams to start this series. But
and he's he adds a lot of potential
valuable.
and chemistry to that team. Yes.
So valuable. I think he was second in the league in blocks this season.
Mm-hmm.
Very switchable guy, can guard. He's not going to look sorry against point guards guarding them. And he's a dog in the paint. And if he comes back in the middle of the series, I like the Celtics. But if he doesn't play at all,
then that's what I'm saying with the Nets, because he's out right now. So Ben Simmons can get down there in that paint, but if Williams comes back, he's gonna have a lot to get past down there.
If he doesn't play if Robert Williams doesn't play at all and Ben Simmons comes back, and so much of the playoffs is dependent on health. Like any prediction we make, we're assuming health. So that's the tough thing you got to take into account too. Like players are gonna get hurt. Now,
always, especially when they're playing as aggressive and as everything's on the line the way they're playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be so interesting. But right now, look at the way everything looks. Robert Williams comes back. Ben Simmons comes back. I'm going to roll with the Celtics. I think they get it done.
That's not a bad. It was hard for me, but I'm not against that either. I can see it. That's why it's so hard for these predictions, man.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Joshua Umahi, joined once again by Gina Halstead.
Yep.
Let's get into these play-in games tonight. So both play-in games in the East and the West are to determine the final and 8th seed in the East and the West. Mm-hmm. Hawks and Cavs play for it. Who you got there?
Hawks.
Yeah, again, best player in the game.
Trae Young.
Not best player in the league. Best player in this game, Trae Young. I think he gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be rooting for the Cavs because I've liked their story all season long.
You can't forget Garland. You can't forget about Garland. Can't forget about... They have some underdogs on that team. The rookie, what's his name again?
Evan Mobley.
I
think he's the next superstar in this league.
I love. He's very underrated.
If you look at what Anthony Davis is now, don't be surprised if Evan Mobley is on that level, say, in 3-4 years. That's all I'll say. He's phenomenal. He's a great player already.
You could say that, yeah.
Then they have the big guys that like to play, like the Twin Towers, or the 3-man lineup, the 3 big man lineup they like to play with Kevin Love and Markkanen. And
Kevin Love is already he's going in with that veteran mindset. Yep. He's already won a chip, so he knows what it takes to get to that next. And
the Cavs are going to have Jared Allen back. He expects to play with that broken... I believe it's a broken or a bruise, whatever it is, middle finger injury.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, don't stick it up.
Literally.
Don't stick it up at the doctors, Jared.
Yeah, I wonder how he broke that one.
Like, where are you hurt? Oh, yeah, right here. No, don't do that. Well, you got Pelicans and Clippers. Now, take in mind, Paul George is out with COVID. That just broke 2 hours ago. Shams Charania tweeted that out. So I think that changes a lot. I think they're going to go with the Pelicans.
I'm going with the Pelicans. Yeah, if he's out, you're done. I'm sorry. It will be crazy. If they do come out on top of this game, though, that says a lot. That says a lot about their team and their potential. But I think the Pelicans are going to pull away. Ingram looking nice. Ingram is looking amazing.
You know, the only thing I'll say on behalf of the Clippers, one, Tyronn Lue is an exceptional coach. Exceptional coach. He makes adjustments really well. Halftime, series adjustments. He might be the best in the business, and I'm not overstating that. He might be the best in the business in terms of making adjustments.
And he's a coach that has won a chip before. He won with the Cavaliers, right?
Yeah. And on a second note, the Clippers they're used to playing without Paul George all season long. I think Paul George missed something like 56 games this season.
And they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs regardless. They made the play in. That's still to be determined tonight. But crazy that Paul George and COVID-19 and the return of COVID-19 and health and safety protocols in the NBA just right before playoff time. Like, great. Fantastic. Just what I was looking for. Really. But let's get to the rest of the NBA playoffs. Yes, the NBA playoffs start officially tomorrow afternoon, and we are going to break it down series by series.
Let's go.
I feel like we know our basketball, right?
Yes, of course.
But if you got any problems with what we're about to say and who's going to win it all and who's going to make the conference finals, anything, feel free to call up and challenge us. 516-572-7440 once again is the number. Let's start with these first-round series here, and let's start with the Dubs and the Nuggets. The Nuggets Warriors of the, I believe that's the...
Third and sixth, yeah.
3-6 matchup in the West.
You know how I feel about the Nuggets. The Nuggets, I think they're bubble boys. I'm going to be honest with you on that one. I do. I call them bubble boys. They are great in the regular season. Jokic being the first player to ever have 2,000 points, like 1,000 rebounds, and like 500 assists in one season.
Probably going to win MVP. Now, I want Embiid to win, but it'll probably be Jokic.
Yeah, he broke a record that didn't even exist, so that's great. But
right.
and they choke in the playoffs, and you've seen it year after year. So I'm taking the Warriors. Clay's back. You got the Splash Brothers back in action. Man, I'm going with the Warriors on that one.
The Warriors, as much as a wild card as the Nets are, and we talked about that, the Warriors, man. Like, if Steph Curry comes back and he's on track to return for Game 1 from that foot injury, if he comes back and you look at the way Klay Thompson, to your point, closed the season, and you have Draymond Green and Iguodala and Looney, guys who've won before. Now, the interesting thing is, and we mentioned Green and Looney, their big situation after that, like big men, they don't have a lot. James Wiseman is not coming back.
Man, he was such a great addition to that roster.
He would have been a great wild card to have him, and they don't have much, but we'll see how it goes against Jokic. You're going to need some big bodies in there.
Yeah, you're right.
We got our first caller of the Friday show. Caller, you are on WHPC Sports Talk. What's going on?
Good show. You guys have a good repertoire together.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to, yes, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of sports shows on WHPC, but you guys do a good job.
Appreciate it.
I enjoyed it from the beginning. I can't say that I've listened to a lot, but I just happen to be listening to the Friday show.
Definitely appreciate it, man. Shout out.
Okay. Very sad news, and something that might be a little bit not coincidental.
Okay.
Both Clark Gillies and Mike Bosty died of lung cancer.
Yes.
Now, supposedly the Nassau, and he was a great guy, really. Both guys, very nice guys. I got to meet them. But the Coliseum supposedly still does have a lot of asbestos. And there's something connected. It's both played, at the same time. Asbestos. That.
So take me a little bit deeper into that, the asbestos in the Coliseum, because I'm interested to hear more about that.
Well, one thing was when they were talking about redoing the Coliseum or demolishing the Coliseum, the cost of asbestos abatement for the size of that facility. And when it was built, they had asbestos. That's possibly one of the reasons why a lot of 9/11 people are getting all that cancer.
Mm-hmm. Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Were they in the locker rooms a lot? And
man, you know what? I think you're having some connection issues, but don't be shy to call us back. All right, we ain't going nowhere. I hear a little bit of.
Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was just, but is there a coincidence? I mean, both of those guys are healthy athletes. For both of them to get lung cancer at the same time is a little, is it a coincidence, or could they have gotten an asbestos exposure? The other thing, though, with the Jackie Robinson, it takes Jackie Robinson to be integrated in 1947. How long does it take? 20 years later, then Martin Luther King is killed.
Yes.
Our idea of that being a great achievement is great, but the length of time it took even black people to vote, or even it being illegal to be married between interracial marriages, it just seems it's a great achievement, but it does just show you how racist and how literally the superficial skin color. And you mentioned, oh, well, thank God he was a good role model, that he had to be, or that could have ruined it, as if one person. And sadly, if you look at the difference between that person and the person who's the subway shooter, you talk about, well, two different people could have completely, but they are from the same race. So race really has nothing to do with how a person goes about their life, or their mental illness, or what they contribute, or the horrible things that they could commit. Just like Russian people aren't all bad just because Putin is creating genocide. And the sad thing is, this terrible subway shooting, nobody died, but yet thousands of people are being killed. And all we're doing is boycotting them economically, or we're going to boycott the Olympics, as if that really does anything to stop. This is the bigger geopolitical, so I don't know if you wanted to get into all this stuff, but those are my comments.
Yeah, I don't think we really want to get into far the politics side of it. I do say that if you don't, to dismiss that a race even exists would be like dismissing racism in a way, because you're not even identifying why these things exist in the first place. I get what you're saying, I understand, but we were just trying to celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, not bring it into like a whole political kind of talk, basically, to keep it honest.
I understand. This is a sports show, but sports and politics do merge, and you wonder.
Sometimes.
Well, here we're fighting Hitler and the master race, but yet black people aren't allowed to integrate. Weren't we sort of guilty of being? Well, we're a superior race, so black people can't eat at a lunch counter, or they can't vote, or they can't. It kind of makes you wonder, though. We have a moral ideal that we want, or we're condemning other, Joe Louis beat Max Schmeling, Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
Well, we love to celebrate black people, but then when they get back into this country, or people, well, you're not a superstar athlete, so, well, you're not good enough to do this. It is a sad commentary, and it's not just America. It's all around the world. It is a sad commentary on the human condition of who the other is, or who is less superior, and it's a sad. But politics and sports do combine in the Olympic level, national level, and it does have interesting kind of the fact that Jesse Owens is fighting to be in this country and accepted, but yet he's a cheered athlete that he's showing, well, Hitler's master race. Well, how come we're the fastest? How come a black person can beat a white person? Well, there goes your theory. And again, that theory, but it's a proof on an athletic field. And that was such a big thing
Monumental.
In the Olympics. Yeah, but yet, in this country, how long did it take for black people to really, or anybody to be really recognized as a human being? To carry a sign, "I am a man," is ridiculous. Obviously, everybody's a human, but yet that's what had to be done to kind of give people just a chance to show that the character of and look, Martin Luther King lost his life. Malcolm X lost his life. This is like not a small thing. These are very serious situations in our world. Yeah,
it's really some great insight you offered, and thank you for the call once again. I really appreciate your insight. Just that's why today I wanted to reflect, because it's the 75th year, and it's,
in multiple sports that's celebrated. The 75th year is always essential and celebrated.
And to a point he made, listen, I'm one of the people that looks to sports as like distraction. You won't catch me watching the eyewitness news or whatever news is on at like 6 p.m. and just seeing all the horrible stuff that goes on in New York City. Turn on CNN, see everything that goes on in the world. Like I'm the type of person that can't stomach it all in one sitting. So I turn to sports, and we all turn to sports for distraction, but these worlds do come together way too often. We saw it with Colin Kaepernick. We saw it with what's happening in Ukraine and Russia and China. Everybody that you wouldn't think is, involved in that or tied into that. These are real things that happen and things that go on.
And you would think in today's time that these are things that we wouldn't be dealing with. Like, you would think as a society we would have grown from something so simple.
Yeah. And again, some of the people that, would have condemned some of these black athletes, these great black athletes, like I mentioned, I ran down the list. Look at Tiger Woods and what he did in that sport. Serena Williams, like, again, they're great Woods. Athletes, so we respect them, right?
Yeah.
We love them. We gravitate towards them. But if they were regular civilians, like, how much more different would they be treated? And I think that's a great point that caller made. It's something, again, I opened the show with it. I want everybody to just consider and think about, because, again, it's the 75th anniversary, and it had such great societal impact that it's the reason we're talking about the NBA playoffs as a totality right now. Also, the 75th anniversary of the NBA, 1947, the same exact year. Yeah. And we've been celebrating that all season long. And would there be an NBA without Jackie Robinson? Who knows? It's crazy to think about, but think about it. It's really interesting to see how it all tied together back then. And again, Jackie Robinson's courage and toughness and just having a heart of love through it all. Just incredible. Speaking of the NBA and the 75th anniversary, I believe we left off with Nuggets Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll take the Warriors in 6.
So 4-2, I like that. Yeah. I'm going with that.
They're obviously going to struggle guarding Jokic, but again, the Nuggets don't have a lot. They're missing Jamal Murray. They're missing Michael Porter Jr. They're missing, a few more guys, and they had guys in and out all season long. And the Warriors just look. They're that dark horse team in the West.
And if I'm speaking in 2K terminology, I'll give up the 2 for the 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. Come on, literally, they're going to give up paints, buckets in the paint for Splash Brothers. Come on.
Yeah. Again, it's a really, we see Giannis, defending champion, Embiid, Jokic, but I still feel like this is a guard-driven league. You need great guards, and the Warriors have 3 of them. Let's not forget about Jordan Poole now.
Yeah.
He's a problem.
And he's learning under one of the best, so I would expect him to be what he is.
Jordan Poole.
And he's great. Great addition off the bench.
Just, again, he's a really good shooter in his own right. You have Andrew Wiggins, who's been steady all season long.
Yeah, they sleep on Andrew Wiggins. Now, I remember when he was on the Timberwolves. He's good. Yeah. He's great. He was drafted by the Timberwolves.
Drafted number 1, but he was drafted by the Cavs. But
then
the Kevin Love trade.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
They traded for Kevin Love. Yeah, so you had high expectation already coming into the league.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Next series I wanted to get to, it's the Suns versus either the Pelicans or the Clippers. We both believe the Pelicans will win. We think the Suns are going to advance to the second round, right? Let's not spend much time on that.
Against the Pelicans?
Against the Pelicans, yeah.
Yeah, I said I want to go with the underdog, but the Suns, come on now.
Yeah, the Suns. They've
earned the respect that they don't get, to just put it into simple terms. Like, they sleep on them.
They have the special mentality of like a team that lost last year in the finals, and they came back and got better. Every single guy, well, except Alfred Payton. I don't like you still. Every single guy got better. They improved. Devin Booker got better. Chris Paul's been steady as he's ever been. DeAndre Ayton.
And with his age, he's 37 playing like this. Come on, man. Yeah. I just need him because I remember he came in the same league. I think he came the same year with Wade, LeBron, Melo. They were all in that draft 2002, right?
Yeah.
2002. Yeah. So I think...
Chris Paul, I think, was 2005. LeBron, Melo, and D-Wade were 2003.
Well, they all hang out. I know they're all great friends. I've seen pictures. Crew. Yeah, they're all great friends. So I want him to get that chip so they can all understand that feeling of what it's like to have that.
We're going to get into championship picks at the very end, but if you want to pick the Suns to win the championship, like, there's nothing they've shown you this season I would say, I don't like them to win the title.
And back to back, I don't see them not going back to back.
They have to win the West, right? They
Yeah.
have guards. You know, we talk about Chris Paul, Devin Booker. The wings, Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder too. That wing combo, like, come on now. Wing combo. I'm getting
That's gonna get juice. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice game, man.
wing combo. I'm getting a little hungry.
Wing
here.
combo. You need to step out Wingstop before you go home, man.
But yeah, they have everything you need to really make a serious run and get back to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
We touched on Timberwolves, Grizzlies. I think it's going 7, but I got
It is going 7.
I got to go with Memphis.
I don't know. I think I want to go with. I don't even. Ooh, wait, hold up. The Grizzlies are the 2nd seed, and the Timberwolves are the 7th. Matchups, I feel like during the season, didn't the Grizzlies win against those matchups during the Timberwolves, right?
The Timberwolves might have won one game.
So it was one. They probably only played 2 when it was 1-1.
Yeah,
that's hard. See, that's hard for me because I want both of those teams to advance, and they can't because they have to go against each other.
Right. You have another caller on the line. Caller, you are on WHPC Sports Talk. What's up? Talk to me.
Josh, Gina, how you doing? Matt Laird and Anthony Davies reporting from City Field.
Oh,
What's
a
up,
tandem
yo?
call.
Woo!
Let's go. What's going on?
The Mets are, even when they win, they're up by 9 runs. They had to give up 2 in the 9th. They scare me, Josh.
I was watching the game a little bit. Didn't the ball just bust?
What happened? All right, Matt, walk me through what happened.
We left to beat traffic, which isn't working. We're in the car now. But we left to right before the 9th inning started.
Okay.
And it was 10-1 headed to the 9th. The Mets, they won 10-3. It was fine, but they had to give up 2 runs in the 9th and just make our blood pressure rise a little bit.
Yours, I don't really care either way.
I know you don't care.
What's up, Anthony?
Anthony, hater Yankee fan. I see you, Anthony.
I'm not a hater.
I wanted to hear the Edwin Diaz trumpets, and I didn't get it. I'm upset.
You're hoping they give up a little more runs and you have to come in.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anthony, you know I had to go at you. Ben's not here, so somebody had to fill the role.
Has he called up yet or no?
He has not. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed.
Because he didn't call up the morning show when we were calling him out. He didn't. I guess his phone connection got dropped yesterday or something like that. He just doesn't. He's hiding behind this barrier of I don't know technology, but yeah, whatever. I don't know. He's a fraud. Ben's a fraud.
Let me ask you guys about the game today, the Mets and Diamondbacks. I know Robinson Cano went deep. The Mets look impressive, but again, say again.
Lindor went deep twice and won me $30.
Nice.
Hey, collect that cash, man.
Francisco Lindor, certified parlay protector.
That's right. We gotta make a list of those, like our friends of the show. We gotta make parlay protectors.
That's actually
the show list.
No, the parlay protector.
Yeah, Josh started that. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
And the original parlay protector.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully Trey Young and he makes that list for me tonight. We'll see how that goes.
Trey Young's been good for those parlays, Josh.
Yeah, he has. Definitely undeniable.
He's a certified bucket.
Question I want to ask you, Matt, fellow Mets fan. How concerned are you really? Because you opened the call about the Mets bullpen. Because we talked about it. It's really, really scary.
The game I was at on Wednesday in Philadelphia was a 7-1 game. In the 8th inning, the game ended 9-6. You tell me how concerned I should be.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember, was that the game we were watching
Wednesday,
on Wednesday?
When you guys were there without me, yeah.
That was Sean Reed Foley and who else was giving me a heart attack?
Sean Reed Foley gave up the 2 runs in this game too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he might need a designated for assignment very, very soon because the Mets. Billy Epler, if you're listening, Billy, come on, man. We got a good team, got a great lineup, great starting pitching. Fix this damn bullpen, man, before it costs us. Anything else you guys wanted to get off your chest?
This traffic is terrible. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Okay, well, we're getting the traffic cops out here don't know what they're doing. So,
they literally hold up a hand for me to stop as I'm driving.
Oh, that's great. That's
past them. You're literally driving past them, and they put up the stop.
They get paid by the state, right? Those guys.
Yep.
You know what I call that?
I guess so.
Maybe the city. I don't know.
Taxpayer dollars at work, right there.
You better tell them I pay my taxes, okay?
Well, guys, great to hear from y'all, and we'll see you, both of you, next week, all right?
Yeah, good show, guys. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Bye,
it.
guys.
Matt Leonard, Anthony Deus. You can hear them both on WHPC Sports Talk regularly.
Yes.
Monday through Friday. Just tune in 4 o'clock, 90.3. You know where to get us. You know what it is.
You know what it is.
Let's get back to the NBA playoffs. And yes, the Mets did win. Again, I'm gonna turn into a baseball fan, Gina, just to get my little my smack talk off.
They're slowly
Mets.
converting me because when I did like baseball, it was the Yankees. I might end up a Mets fan.
New York Mets, best record in the league right now, I believe. And again, you gotta improve the bullpen because this is a really good team outside of it. And with the Mets, I've seen it so many times just cost us. It's cost us games, cost us playoff series. Definitely want to see a change. Another caller on WHPC Sports Talk. We're on a roll. Caller, what's up?
Okay, I know I already called, but I did want to show you the sports. No.
Now go ahead.
Klitschko was the heavyweight champion. Now he's the mayor involved in real violence. Muhammad Ali not going to the Vietnam War. That was a huge thing. And I have to say, even Muhammad Ali played into "I'm very pretty," and here is Joe Frazier. Now I know he's trying to hype the boxing, but even he was playing into, well, he looks like a gorilla, which is saying if he's a devout Muslim, calling another human being an animal, a gorilla, because he doesn't have the beautiful features that Muhammad Ali thought he had. Mm-hmm. Sort of played into the idea of that. But even on the bigger stage, Althea Gibson was a black woman. They didn't want her to let her play. And people in the tennis world said, if she could play, let her play. And she became, she was like the Jackie Robinson of the sports world. But, violence in sports, and it's exemplified now in MMA, we have a violent nature as humans. So war and this kind of like football action where you have the domination and violence, or in boxing or in MMA, which is extremely popular, but it just shows you that as humans we have a violent nature. Why do we have rioting when there's a championship? Whether the champion is won or lost, there's rioting in streets. I mean, you think about, it's hard not to have sports interplay with politics or the very human nature of greed. The Buffalo Bills, they need money. These are billionaire people, yet New York State has plenty of people that need money, but yet those people aren't addressed. But yet a sports team, they need money, but they're billionaires paying millionaire salaries, yet we need to somehow subsidize this. And what the gentleman just said about traffic, when you go to these events, you got traffic, you got time, you got parking, $30, $40 for the UBS. You're paying $15 a beer. Just so happens the governor's husband is going to make a lot of money on concessions.
You don't got to tell me. I remember I went to Madison Square Garden the other day, and I paid a disgusting amount of money for a beer. So I'm still not over that. So I feel you.
So the idea of money and power and prestige and who are great athletes that are admired, all of these great athletes, yes, are beautiful to watch, but is it a distraction to the real problems that we have? Are people more interested? Now there's gambling involved. Well, Pete Rose was admonished for gambling, but the way he gambled was bad. But the way they're gambling now is good with the FanDuels. Now it's all okay, But the very nature of that is, well, you could win money on it now. Now you got something more than just a home team. Now you could win money. There is some dangerous things happening with sports, like you mentioned, Colin Kaepernick, the idea of, things that the Super Bowl, look at them kneeling. The Super Bowl was politicized. So it's hard not to get around this idea of sports being a place where people – the Olympics, when the black athletes raise their fists. It's hard not to have some connections with what's going on geopolitically. Jimmy Carter banning the United States because Russia went to Afghanistan. Well, we went to Afghanistan, we went to Iraq, but yet it's terrible that Russia's going into Ukraine. It's
yeah,
a joke.
You make the point. It's a lot of inconsistencies. Like the gambling thing was a great point. Like it's crazy to think about how negative we view gambling, and now you turn on a basketball game or NFL game and it's FanDuel promos on a split screen between that and the game, and it's telling you to bet. It's really crazy. So yeah, all these things really mix into sports. Again, I'm the type of guy that likes to use sports as a distraction because I can't bear too much of all the terrible things that go on in this world. But yeah, with the Kaepernick stuff, the athletes at the Olympics, all the war and crime and strife that's going on, it's very hard to ignore. So I'll give you credit on that point.
I think in a way it forces people to kind of look at it and think, okay, this is a problem. This needs to be addressed, because if we continue to kind of push it under the rug, we're going to continue to have these issues when it involves race in our society.
Yeah.
What about female athletes? What about transgender? Is that fair to female athletes? Should there be a separate transgender sport? Is that fair? I mean, that's getting into another realm. That's not really racial. That goes into the very thing of, is that a fair competition? I mean, a man, and this happened in tennis when Renee Richards became, when Richard Raskin became Renee Richards, played on the female. That was the first time that the issue was brought up. And it's just on the basis of science that you're having an unfair advantage. The steroids issue, they were happy to make money on steroids. Again, we worship power. We worship strength. Is it fair for a female athlete to compete against a transgendered male who is now supposedly female? That's a hard one to, kind of deal with. And I'm sure you guys don't get into this kind of stuff, but these are real issues. Should females have to compete against that? And is that fair competition? And does that go into the whole steroids issue?
It's definitely an interesting talking point. And thank you for the call again. Yeah, I mean,
it definitely is something that you have to learn to discuss, because these two topics in our society are going to keep bumping. So I do. Yeah, I understand.
And again, Jackie Robinson Day, equality is just not, and he mentioned it, race. It goes way beyond the scope.
There's so many different factors where it shouldn't be, but it is, and we have to combat these things head on instead of running from it. I get what he's saying.
Sports is so ingrained in society, and as society begins to grow and kind of accept new things, reject new things, it's going to happen in sports as well. Like, it's undeniable. So, yeah, that's a really great point that he made too. Yeah, again, 70. It's so hard to believe that it's been 75 years, and we look at how things are now in America. It's better, but it's not where we want to do. It's not where we want to be at the end all be all. So yeah, we'll see how it keeps progressing. We have about just 4 or 5 more minutes left.
Yeah, we got to. Who you want to still run through? Who you think on every round?
Let's rip through it.
All right.
While we're at
so
it,
we're gonna. Where are we starting off? The Suns and Heat. They get the slack off a little bit. They don't have to play anybody. They're waiting for who their opponent is.
Okay. Who do you think? Let's start here. Who do you think makes the conference finals in both conferences?
Suns.
Okay.
And my goodness, this is so hard.
In the West, you're going to have to pick probably between the Warriors and the Grizzlies to play against Suns.
Literally, oh my goodness. I'm going to go Suns-Grizzlies. I'm going Suns-Grizzlies.
I'm telling you, I love Memphis. I love Ja. And let's not forget, Taylor Jenkins, for one, is an exceptional coach. They have great depth. And they went something crazy like 18-2 or 17-2 without Ja Morant. Without Ja Morant.
Now, if the Timberwolves do advance against the Grizzlies, I'm going to go with Suns and Timberwolves. Yeah, because if they can beat the Grizzlies, I think they can be. Yeah, I don't know. I like the underdogs. They're looking good. The way they were celebrating after that play-in, I'm like, these boys know they're coming in with that hungry mindset. Like, I'm taking every game like it's my last.
And the way they celebrated, like, you better win. Like,
you got to. You got to keep that, because you got the momentum now. You got to use it.
Yeah, they definitely celebrated hard. Eastern Conference finalists. I have the
Bucks.
I have Bucks Celtics.
No, I got Bucks Heat. I got Bucks Heat.
You got the Heat going to the conference finals.
Yeah, I don't. Celtics looking good, but the Heat, like I said, they're silent but deadly. Silent but deadly. I got to go Bucks Heat. Yeah.
I like that. Actually, do I? Oh, I don't have. I lied. I have Bucks, and don't fall out your seat. I have Bucks and the Raptors. Don't laugh at me. The Toronto Raptors are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I said it. I'm on record. We the North.
We're just going to censor all that so that nobody has to hear that again. That was horrible.
We the North, baby.
No, you're crazy, John. You're crazy.
Freddie All-Star, Spicy P getting it done. All right.
If you would have said 76ers, that would have been cool. I've been like, all right, maybe. But you said the Raptors. You could at least said the Celtics. Come on, man.
I had to make at least one wild pick.
No, you sound like Ben now. So somebody just had to say something crazy.
Relax.
Somebody just had to say something crazy today.
Don't do that.
So we said Suns and Grizzlies, Heat and Bucks. Who do
you have going to the finals?
I'm going Suns Bucks again, but Suns Bucks Game 7 this year. Hoping I know I said I hope the Bucks win. I can see them going to back-to-back championships. This year I'm hoping it's 4-3 Suns. Just to make that, like, it's kind of going to be like the Warriors Cavs 2015, 2016, those years where they were both back-to-back, where they were both going head-to-head for it.
That would be an amazing, like, repeat finals. Like, that would be, for how great that series was last year, we get that again, Giannis against Chris Paul, Devin Booker, who I've said the Suns have gotten better.
Mm-hmm. And then that team making the adjustments and coming to that play. Yeah, that would be beautiful to see. I think our predictions are going to be spot on, but if we're thrown for a loop, we're literally going to have to push the reset button because it's too good this year. Everybody's coming to play. Everybody's coming to get that chip. They got a chip on their shoulder.
I told you, any one of like 6-7 teams I could see making it to the finals.
Yeah.
For my prediction, I will take the Bucks and I'll take the Warriors in the finals. And who's going to win that? My champion. I've gone back and forth on the drive here, walking in, setting up the studio. I've gone back and forth so many times.
With that,
I'll go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I would. In that case, I would go with them too.
Yeah. So you would have the Suns beating them if they met.
Yes,
but if they met the Warriors, the Bucks did.
I think it'll come down to a buzzer. Game 7 buzzer beater. I think it's something we're going to be remembering for the next forever in the history of like the NBA and just basketball.
It's definitely going to be a wild ride. And again, I'll close with this. If you think about the dynasties we've seen in the NBA, the Spurs, Warriors, Bulls, why not the Bucks? They have, in my opinion, the best player in the world.
Literally.
They have great role players, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton.
They stepped on him. You don't remember when he was on the Pelicans? Man was balling.
He was balling. We'll definitely see how it shakes out. We are in for a show, these NBA playoffs.
You got that right.
Speaking of a show, we will call it a wrap for ours. We'll call it a day and we'll call it a week on WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. From Gina Halstead, I am Joshua Umahi saying have a good weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday afternoon. Have a good one.